the time. Should be happy. But I'm all right.
Wait,
No.
we got that fight coming up.
You gotta beat it, bro.
We got that fight coming up.
That's a nigga that just fought, Gorilla.
What happens when one of boxing's biggest stars, Gervonta Tank Davis, ends up in a hospital bed? And not from a fight inside the ring, but because of Jake Paul backstage. Yes, you heard that right. Tank Davis, once seen as unstoppable, got dropped by Jake Paul behind the scenes. Now the boxing world can't stop talking about it. And the wildest part is that Tank himself has spoken out from the hospital about what really happened. Let's get into it.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
Here's how it all began. After a tense press event where Jake Paul was doing his usual trash talk, things got heated backstage. People close to the situation say Jake got in Tank's face, telling him he was washed up and only chasing YouTuber money instead of real fights. Tank, already fired up, stepped up like he always does because he doesn't let anyone disrespect him.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
But instead of backing away, Jake swung first. The cameras weren't supposed to capture it, but leaked footage shows Jake landing a clean right hand on Tank. Shockingly, Tank went down. Security rushed in immediately, but by then the damage was already done. Tank was taken straight to the hospital to check for possible concussion symptoms. And that's when the shocking news broke: Gervonta Tank Davis hospitalized by Jake Paul before they even set foot in the ring. From his hospital bed, Tank finally spoke out. His tone was calm, but you could feel the frustration. He said, "This isn't over. One punch doesn't mean anything. I'll take care of this in the ring. That's a promise." He also admitted he never expected Jake to actually swing backstage, which is crazy because if you know Jake Paul, this is exactly the kind of drama he lives for. Tank made it clear he's focused on their upcoming fight, but the fact that he has to assure fans he's okay after being hit by Jake Paul is already hurting his image.
What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
Would you look at it as a joke if someone, if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him. I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now. Why I say that? Because I ain't put in enough work. Like I'm not a Floyd Mayweather. I ain't no Manny Pacquiao or no Canelo. You know what I mean? I still got actually work to put in. That's like me in the 8th grade trying to like do something like out this world to somebody that's already did their schoolwork and shit like that. So I think that I actually still gotta have my foot on the gas as far as boxing. Like,
you gotta completely take over and prove
like,
that.
Take this, Like, if I do that right now, they're gonna look at me as a joke just as well as they look at Jake Paul.
Let's stop for a second because this is where things get serious. What is Tank Davis even doing? This is the same guy who was once called the knockout king of boxing. Floyd Mayweather himself built him up as the future face of the sport. And now he's lying in a hospital bed because of a backstage punch from a YouTuber.
Tank is done. Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up, he done. Tank is done. Period.
When you say done, you mean like not fighting anymore?
Tank is checked out mentally. Tank is gone mentally. Tank looking for the big bag, of Jake Paul, Pacquiao, something solo, and he's looking to, hey, I'll see you later. Tank is standing. He's not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson at all. At all. I don't care how much money Turkey offered, give him 4 Lamborghinis, whatever. Tank ain't taking that fight.
It's tough to say, but Tank isn't the same fighter anymore. Back then, he was facing top opponents, chasing greatness, and making statements every time he fought. Now, it looks like he's chasing paydays. Sure, every fighter wants money, but Tank is clearly avoiding the big names that matter. The one name no one can ignore here is Lamont Roach, because Roach humbled Tank in their first fight.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That burning my eyes, so I cut that off.
Tank was expected to run through him, but Roach proved he wasn't easy to beat. He absorbed Tank's hardest punches, stood strong, and exposed Tank's weaknesses. That fight left Tank embarrassed, and fans immediately demanded a rematch.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not gonna lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. Just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
That rematch could have been Tank's redemption story. The only way to erase that night was to fight Roach again and knock him out. That would have silenced the critics, rebuilt his reputation, and put him back in talks as one of the greats.
Tank Davis. Bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shavers was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in.
Yeah, he fights to the level of his competition.
Yes,
he was doing that a lot.
And he got to be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you got to be careful of that, because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So that's the only thing I think you got to be careful of. Other than that, Tank is a really good fighter.
But Tank never gave the rematch. No redemption, no proving himself against the man who exposed him. Instead, he went after Jake Paul.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But, man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching it, like, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. But, and so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that like we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like, if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
And here's the real problem. Fighting Jake Paul adds nothing to Tank's legacy. This is not the matchup fans want, and every boxing insider knows it.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring, and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't, allegedly? So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Dylan Dennis even said the fight is a joke, claiming Tank and Jake are just taking money from the fans. Jeff Mayweather also said this fight makes no sense for either career.
It's kind of weird, because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Shakur Stevenson went harder, calling the fight disrespectful to the sport. He said if Tank really wanted to prove himself, he should be fighting him, not a YouTuber.
What do you think about the rumors that Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
Mike Perry summed it up by saying Tank just isn't the same anymore. He's not in love with boxing the way he once was.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, I mean, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, you know, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
And Nate Diaz couldn't believe it either, calling the matchup strange and questioning why anyone would agree to such a huge weight difference in the first place.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna do
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm
it's
not
a good
hating
fight?
on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch it, see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said his boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah, that's
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE, so
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight actually.
Not everyone criticized, though. Rolando Raleigh Romero defended Tank, saying, "You can't blame a fighter for chasing the paycheck." He believes Tank deserves a pass for choosing money over legacy.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
Teofimo Lopez agreed, giving credit to both fighters for securing a massive payday. To him, boxing is a business, and if fans are willing to pay, then cashing in makes sense. But for Tank, it's clear now he picked money over legacy. And fans are noticing. Because what happens if Tank actually loses to Jake Paul? Imagine going from the most feared lightweight in boxing to getting knocked out by a YouTuber. That wouldn't just be chasing money, that would be career suicide. And don't forget the weight factor. Tank normally fights at 135 pounds. Jake Paul walks around close to 200 pounds. Even if they meet halfway, Tank is basically fighting a heavyweight compared to his usual size. That's not just risky, it's dangerous. Fans might not care because it's a big-name fight, but if Jake lands the same way he did backstage, the optics are brutal. It would look like one of boxing's best got knocked out by a YouTuber, and once that story hits the internet, there's no undoing it.
Tank was looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach. I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would have been like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out paws with that arm out and stepping back. And bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But that's a cat. Fine. We'll never get to fight anyway. So we'll never know.
That's why people are saying Tank should retire if this goes wrong. He built his name as Floyd's protege, the knockout machine, the guy who could end fights with a single punch. But if his career ends with chasing YouTubers, ducking real competition, and getting dropped by Jake Paul, that's not a legacy. That's a downfall.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder. Nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
And let's not forget, Jake and Tank already had issues before this. Their rivalry has been building for a while. It didn't just happen overnight. Things really exploded after Jake fought Mike Tyson.
Do you think that it's fair to call them boxers now? We're talking about Logan Brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout. He tried to knock him out for sure.
Tank didn't like it at all. He felt Jake was using a 60-year-old legend to boost his own name. To Tank, that was pure disrespect. In his mind, Jake was trying to use Tyson's legacy for clout, and Tank made it clear he wasn't impressed. From that point on, the tension between the two only got worse.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss what's next. Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.